Alright guys, today's video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be going over the long range pattern, talking about the summer of 2022. A lot of you have been requesting that I make some sort of video related to this and my thoughts on the upcoming summer. So here it is. You guys are probably wondering, is it going to be hot? Is it going to be cold? What is it going to be like? So we're going to be trying to answer some of those questions today. Obviously, it is a long range outlook, so I can't completely with certainty answer every single question, but I can give you some kind of puzzle pieces to try to figure the whole thing out, if that makes sense. Now let's take a look here at what is our sea surface temperature anomaly. So this is basically just us taking a look at the current sea surface conditions as far as temperatures are concerned. Blue areas are obviously colder than normal, and the red areas here are obviously warmer than normal. There's a few important things to note. Obviously, the Atlantic region over here, North Atlantic region, especially here, let me get rid of that, especially here closer to the United States, here is going to be obviously pretty important because we're going to have those temperatures from the water influencing the temperatures over the air around the United States there. So that's important to note. Also, especially important here in the western United States because we know that usually things move like this. Usually they move from west to east. So the waters over the North Pacific here tend to head over the North America region, obviously here. Whereas the Atlantic, it's kind of heading out through the ocean where it does have some impact for these regions, but not quite as much as the western United States. I think I'm rambling here, but we do have colder than normal conditions expected here for the west, just offshore of the western United States and western Canada there in the Pacific Ocean. Or better yet, we don't expect that. It's actually happening. So that is literally taking place. Gulf of Mexico and the eastern United States. Our oceans here are expecting, or I keep saying that, they are undergoing warmer than normal conditions there. And then also a very big region in here, this is our ENSO region. This is where our La Nina is taking place. The colder waters are indicating that La Nina is taking place. And that also has quite a few impacts, especially pertaining to the hurricane outlook, which I'm going to be uploading an update for that tomorrow, by the way, guys. So be on the lookout for that video. Now, I just wanted to go over that because there's a few things that are definitely pretty important. Let's go ahead and take a look here at our temperature anomalies. We're going to be taking a look at both the European model and then the CFS model. These are two models that are going to differ a little bit here, so we're going to get two opinions. Two opinions is a little bit better because we can use these and kind of take the average of the two and try to come up with a better mean opinion between the two of them, the mean average of what both are showing. This is for May. We're going to throw May as a whole in there as a bonus. Colder than normal conditions for the northern United States here, with warmer than normal conditions for a lot of the southern United States here expected throughout the month of May. And then for kind of June here, we see warmer than normal conditions for the central and eastern United States. Also some of that going on for the west, but there is some cold here present in more neutral temperatures. This is really just looking like a torch overall to me from the European model, which it tends to do sometimes. Then for July, things kind of shift, okay? So we get the more normal conditions here in the eastern United States, and the furthest above normal temperatures end up over the western United States here, according to the European model. So I think we could be dealing with most of that heat being in the central United States for July. That is a pretty easy estimate to make there. And then for August, we have a lot of the warmer than normal conditions here in the west again, with more near normal conditions here for the east again. So that is what we end up with for the summer of 2022 according to the European model as far as temperatures are concerned. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the CFS monthly model. Let me get a little bit of a different opinion here. So for May, it's very clear to see that this model has a pretty strong opinion here that there's going to be colder than normal conditions here in the western and also for the north central United States there, and then warmer than normal conditions for a lot of the eastern half of the nation for the rest of May, which is a little bit different than what we've been experiencing, but it is what we're moving towards. I would say that's pretty accurate. June, we see some of these colder than normal conditions still lingering for the interior regions of the western United States, but there is some warmth present, especially there for the west, the very far west here. And then for the eastern United States, we see some of these warm temperatures lingering in here as well for the month of June. Then for July, this is when things get interesting. We get a lot of this warmth for the west here in July, but we see a big shift, cold in the north central and northeastern United States in the month of July here, where the heart of it is right out here for the month of July. And then also for the month of August, we see a lot of this going on for the north central and the northeastern United States. Cold for July and August. Now, this won't actually be cold. It's not going to be like 40 in July, obviously, but it's going to be a good 2 to 5 degrees below what is your average temperature oftentimes. So instead of 88 or 85 as a high, you might be dealing with 80 or maybe even upper 70s on some days, which is pretty significant because that's what I would call that's the difference between hot and pleasant temperatures, I would say. Pleasant is anywhere in the 70s, lower 80s in the summer can be pleasant. It feels quite oppressive this time of year, but when we see those types of temperatures in the midsummer, it almost feels like a little bit cold. It's funny how that works, but that is actually how it works, in my opinion. Now, for precipitation, we're actually going to go over this as well. We're going to start out with the CFS this time, so we're going back to back here. Drier conditions overall for May, which I think is a little surprising considering how much precipitation we're seeing in this region right now, but maybe the later half will be very dry is what this model is predicting. But also a lot of storminess up here in the northwest and the north central United States. So the northwest and then the north central United States there as well. And then as we move towards June, we see a lot of this precipitation dips down to where a lot of the central and the eastern United States is seeing a lot of this storminess. Maybe we'll see storms moving in like this, a little bit more dry underneath, indicating that maybe there will be a bit of a high pressure system set up over here that causes a lot of the storminess to head through to the north of this region. That could be what's going on. Also maybe a high up here. So that could be what's taking place there. But in the summertime, it's a little hard to tell. But regardless, this is what this model thinks at this point. We'll compare it to the European model in just a moment. For July here, we see that this shifts a little bit further north, but we still see similar areas seeing above normal or precipitation, better yet, for a lot of these regions in the central United States again, and then the northeast also up here. So throughout all of these regions, we see quite a bit of storminess in the month of July, according to this model. And then August, it really stays the same again. So this is really what the look is for the entire summer. A lot of storminess there in the central United States and also for a bit of the mid-Atlantic and southeast as well. More dry for the Gulf states overall, and then also for the northeast and the west. So really the central and the eastern United States are the bullseye for precipitation, it looks like. For the European seasonal model, this is our May look. So we see a lot of the precipitation in here above average. So this is a little bit of the opposite of what the CFS model was calling for. And also for June, look at that. It's dry where the other model was calling for it to be wet, and it's wet where the other model was calling for it to be dry. So this just shows you these long-range models can be a little bit wacky. This is an example of that. July, East Coast above normal. This could be that this model is indicating more tropical activity because this is obviously every single coast here in the Atlantic that it's calling for above normal precipitation. And then inland, it has these drier conditions. So that is worth noting. August, same thing. I mean, really moist throughout here and then really dry up to the northern United States. Very, very different than the other models. So it's definitely interesting to note, but definitely I see some agreement on the temperature pattern. The precipitation pattern is way all over the place for the summer. I think I'm going to make another video on the summertime as we approach later into May. And I think we will be a little bit able to get better information by then as well, which is definitely worth noting. But these are the two top-of-the-line seasonal models that are most commonly used, and you can use this information as you wish. I think the temperature anomalies are onto something. I think a little bit of a cooler summer can't be ruled out for the central and the eastern United States. But even if it's a little bit cooler, it's still going to be hot. It's still summer, so it's regardless going to be summer-like. So don't worry about that. Anyway, for today's confidence tab, we are at a 3 out of 6 because really you can't feel too confident in a long-range forecast. Obviously, it is long-range after all, and we're not even halfway through May, so we still have a long way to go in May. Meteorological summer starts on June 1st, so that's when I start, obviously I'm more weather-oriented, so I go by the meteorological seasons, but we're still about a month away from summer here. So we're at a 3 out of 6 for all of those reasons. For today's Patron Highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our Platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovin Eagle, Lure the Pan, Mandy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donna Cardes as well. I'd also thank our Diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Holly, Michael Cuddle, Lessa Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Bill Dallas, Gary's, and John Khaleesi also. I'd also thank our channel members, Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.